The White Lotus Season 2 has most certainly taken the television scene by storm. With it having an extremely successful first run in raking in some Emmys, Season 2 built upon the world that we were introduced to in 2021 and improved it vastly. With its meticulously chosen cast, stunning scenery, thought-provoking plots, and connection to the location in which it was set, Season 2 was a real journey and experience to witness unfold. So with that, I thought I'd break down and explain why I believe Season 2 of the show was something special. So let's get into it. Here is why The White Lotus Season 2 was perfect. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. For the past 7 weeks, The White Lotus led us down the path of a murder mystery being at its core. But in reality, there were many other things that were just as important as that. Focusing on love, lust, deceit, marriage, naiveness, and excitement, murder was the last thing that was on everybody's mind. Well, other than Quentin, Greg, and Niccolo. Despite that being at the heart of the show and the killing off of Tanya being a big thing, it was merely just one ending to a collection of arcs that we watched unfold during their time in Sicily. I'll be breaking this video down by the main talking points, such as the Double Bluff, the Symbolism, the score, and the characters. Let's start with the Double Bluff. The main thing that we were shown at the start of the season was the body floating in the sea, and us being led to believe that there was not one, but multiple guests that had died during the course of the week. It felt like there was going to be one main character washed up on the shore, and then maybe another one from another arc that was going to meet their demise. There were many theories floating around about it potentially being Portia, Lucia, Mia, Bert, and even Cameron. However, the other guests that Rocco was referring to were the ones that were on board the yacht with Tanya. Despite not being directly led down the route of being told that there were main characters that would be meeting their demise from the other plots, the 7 episodes and the space that was created within them filled with all of the negative emotions and a boiling atmosphere made it feel as though it could happen amongst many of the others. Whilst this could lead to an anticlimax, it actually had the opposite effect. And I feel this is because of the way that Tanya departed the show. Tanya mentioned in Season 1 how one of the only things that she hadn't experienced in life was death, and the fact that it came at her own hands after defeating Quentin, Niccolo, and those out to get her, only to then allow her clumsiness and blind sense of panic to be the thing that tipped her over the edge, proved to be devastating, yet shockingly fitting for the character. We were tricked into thinking that there would be multiple main character deaths, when in reality, there was only one. 2 if you count Quentin. It was trickery at its finest, and we only had ourselves to blame due to our own self-assumption. Tanya's fate was in front of our eyes from the start, with the tarot reader and her going to watch Madame Butterfly. We just refused to believe that she'd be the only one. The Symbolism. Symbolism and the connection to the location of Sicily was key to Season 2 of the show, and it always added an extra layer to everything that we were watching. We had the 16th century art that was ingrained throughout all of the show, the title sequence which was featured on the walls in episode 3 of the show where Daphne and Harper went to Noto, the constant presence of the darkness and crashing of the waves in the sea, the seagulls, the volcano, and most importantly the Testa di Moro, which we saw was at the heart of Ethan, Harper, Daphne, and Cameron's story. Ethan was obsessed with the heads from the moment that he laid eyes on them in episode 1, and they made recurring appearances all throughout the show, even appearing on the boat that Tanya met her fate on, which to me gave the answer to her final question, showing that Greg could have been cheating on her. Ethan eventually became the very person he didn't want to when he went off with Daphne during the final episode, and it was insinuated that they were both intimate with each other. Whilst the Testa di Moro told a tale of a man who met his demise due to the cheating of his wife and the person finding out that he had a family at home, it didn't quite have the same effect on him. However, Ethan believing that he was getting even was the very thing that made him feel better about himself, and it ultimately went on to improve his relationship, finishing with the Testa di Moro being smashed, and Ethan and Harper looking the happiest that they'd been the whole trip. Seagulls symbolizing gossip and gluttony, which was embedded throughout the entirety of the show when it came to most of the characters. The volcano being representative of creation, which was the sparking of new relationships, but also devastation, which was the death that occurred, and also the stealing that took place. Along with the constant presence of the sea, reminding us that death was on the horizon, was a great way to allow the show to go a level deeper and make us feel like there was a whole lot more going on, and really feel the eeriness that it had to offer. The score. The score that was behind the scenes in this show really did match the mood and tone that it was going for. I felt like it was embedded within the environment due to the use of sounds such as waves, the cawing of birds, and the wind. It was haunting to listen to and made you feel uneasy a lot of the time that it was present. Even the title sequence, it's hard to describe, but the score behind it was beautiful, yet extremely uncomfortable to listen to. It felt elegant, but dirty. It did a great job at providing the beauty that lied within the location of where the resort was, but it also incorporated something that shone a light on the horror that people within it would cause to occur. The characters. The thing with a show like this is that it relies heavily on the cast members. There's not one main character, there are about 12. So all stories, characters, motives, personalities and intentions need to be fleshed out and believable. And these most certainly were. There was everything included in this cast to provide the different moods and emotions that we needed and wanted to go through. Albie and Portia both went on the same journey, being played by the person that they thought they wanted to be with. Ethan became Cameron in the sense that he now had secrets that his wife didn't know about. Dominic changed for the better, but the whole family turning around at the end showed that the nature is ingrained within all of them, and that they most likely won't change. Lucia led us down a path of believing that she could be good, when in reality, just like the movie said that Bert was watching, women in Sicily are more dangerous than weapons, which she was. She cost Albie and Dominic 50,000 euros. We also had Mia taking Giuseppe's job and showing no remorse and ultimately turning into Lucia. And then we had Tanya, the person who was her own worst enemy in the end. Each character's story was engaging, interesting, and not at any point did I feel disappointed when the camera would cut to a different plot. The focus on intimacy and the power that it held was something that was within all of these different stories, and they intertwined when necessary. The cast really did shine in this show, and it was a real ensemble piece that had moments of excellence for each individual character when the time did arise. The White Lotus as a show is something that I will miss tuning into on a weekly basis because it soon became one of my favourite shows of the year due to how different it was to many other pieces of television at the moment. I'm glad Season 3 has been given the green light because it means the White Lotus resorts are still open, can still be built upon, and will most likely be introduced to many more characters that embody many similar traits to what made this season pure perfection. Maybe even some might return. So, there you have it. Why the White Lotus Season 2 was perfect. I just want to say a massive thanks to the viewers who tuned into the videos on a weekly basis. It's been a lot of fun making these videos and discussing with you all in the comments about theories about what could have happened next. If you want to see more videos such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of The White Lotus Season 2? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.